Hi and welcome to Dwayne's Guitar Lessons. We're working on my third guitar build, and so far I've painted the front red and the back black, so you can see it's kind of a cut. And I did it like that because there's two pieces of wood. You've got your mahogany on the back and your maple on the top. And normally with these kind of guitars they leave the binding white, and I decided I just want to go ahead and paint it, so I'm going to paint it just something different. And right now I'm painting, this is what I've got so far on the front. It's dragging. I don't know if you can really see that well in the camera there. But this is basically what it looks like right here. And I've started to paint it white. So basically what I did is I just transferred it on there with a pencil. This is the picture right here. I don't know if you can see that. And I switched it around backwards, so it's facing the other way. And now I'm starting to paint it white. Okay. And so what I'm going to do, a little bit different than the first one, kind of similar to the first one, but a little bit different. So what I've done is I've put it out in, I've darkened it with a black Sharpie so I can see what I'm doing. And I haven't really decided what color I'm going to make the dragon yet. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to go over to all in white so far. And I've got like a little fire shooting here out of his mouth, and I'll probably have that go up like this or something. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to make this be like. I'm kind of making this up as I go along here. But I'm using my airbrush, and going to try to make this look kind of cool. We'll see how it turns out. Now I probably won't paint this whole dragon in this video because I don't want it to be too long. But I want to just kind of show you what I'm doing, the process. Okay, so got our little airbrush here. Got some white paint, and we're going a little bit like this here. And as you can see, I'm just kind of filling in the dark areas, filling in the areas that I've outlined with the Sharpie. And this is going to make a nice base coat for whatever color I decide to paint it. So as you can see kind of how it's developing here. What I really like about an airbrush is you can really, do some really cool stuff with an airbrush that you can't really do with a regular paintbrush. You get some really cool hues and stuff like that, which if I was going to paint this white, I would be doing that. But I'm just basically using the white as a base coat. So I'm just going to fill all this in with white, so that way when I decide to color it in, I'll have a nice base coat to color on top of it, okay? And this is actually a pretty good airbrush. This one right here, this one I used before. This is a Masters. I've never used a Masters before. When I was airbrushing when I was younger, I used like a Badger, an Olympus, an Iwata. I don't think they even make Olympus anymore, but those are good airbrushes, and this one is just as good. I mean, I haven't had a problem with this at all. I think Masters makes some good airbrushes. And one of the things about these kind of tools is you know whether they're good or not, because either they're going to spray good or they're not. And I'm using this House of Color paint, which is pretty popular with airbrushes. And the reason why this is good paint, because it's specifically designed for airbrushing. So it flows real good through the paint and everything, or through the gun I mean. And it comes in all kinds of really good colors. So, like I said, I'm just going to paint this white, paint all this in white, and then we'll go from there, okay? So you can kind of see it starting to develop. You can kind of see it starting to develop a little bit here. You see the picture there. Okay. So I'm just, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want this video to be too long. Okay. So I'm going to paint a couple of things here, and then I'm going to shut off the video, finish it. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do everything else yet. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. But I just wanted to show you the process of how I'm doing this. Okay. Because I didn't do that on the first guitar that I did. So let me shoot up a little bit more of this real quick, and then we'll shoot up. We'll close the video out there, okay? Here you go. And like I said, if you're good at drawing, an airbrush should be something you'd be really good at doing. Because this is very much like drawing with a pencil. That's what it is. An airbrush. And as you can see, I'm staying within the confines of the drawing. Even though the whole thing is going to be white, even though it's all going to be white, I'm still staying with confines of the black outline. Just so that the lines go where they're supposed to, you know. And that's going to make it better for when I go to paint it later down the line. Because if I just go and paint the whole thing white, it's not going to look as good. So here I'm just using, you know, the black outline as kind of shapes. I'm just trying to paint within those shapes, so that I can still see the black outline. Very important, so that I can see that for when I go to paint like the teeth yellow and, you know, the skin. And up here I'm doing gonna do like for his cheek right here. Alright. And even when I do the scales, I'm doing each individual one. I'm not just like spraying over the whole thing. Plus, that really helps with your control of the airbrush as well. Allows you to have control, you know, with your lines and your circles, you know. And once again, you want to just have real good control. Just fill in those little. I just look at them like shapes. You know, if it's like with the scales, if it's a little circle shape, then I just try to fill it in with like a circle. If it's more of a line shape, and I'll fill it in with a line. The scales are more kind of like circles, little, so I just kind of fill them in like that. What I like about these dual action airbrushes is that you can really control the amount of paint and everything that you're spraying in there. If you want it to be kind of thick and fine, you just get up close, barely pull back on the paint, push down on the air and barely pull back on the trigger, you get paint, and you can really get some fine lines with that. It kind of reminds me of like painting with crayons, when you're a kid, you got to stay within the lines and stuff. Okay, so you can kind of see that. See how you can still see over here the outline of the dragon and everything, because I didn't just spray it all white. I kind of sprayed each individual little part white, and so that's going to give it a lot more depth and a little bit easier to paint later on. Okay, so now we're going to fill that in, fill this in. Okay. Remember I was telling you about the strokes in that last guitar I painted? I was telling you about the strokes that you got to make sure you have, and that's what I'm doing here. It's just strokes this way for this way and then that way, so that'll just probably build up and go that way like this, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that down there exactly yet, but that's roughly what we're looking at there so far. Okay, so I'm going to work on this some more, and I'll shoot another video in a while to kind of let you see my progress. So once again, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video wasn't too long. I know you're busy, got a lot of stuff to do, so until next time, take care.